The wind whispered through the decrepit walls of the abandoned orphanage, as if carrying the sorrowful tales of the forgotten children who once called it home. Ivy snaked its way up the cracked facade, enveloping the building in a shroud of melancholy. It stood as a somber reminder of a time long past, a place where hope had withered away. A team of paranormal investigators, led by the seasoned Dr. Jonathan Hargrove, arrived at the orphanage. They were driven by the allure of the supernatural and the desire to unravel the mysteries hidden within its walls. Dr. Hargrove was a man who had devoted his life to understanding the unknown, and this forsaken building was to be his next conquest. As the investigators entered the dilapidated foyer, the air hung heavy with the scent of decay. Dust danced in the dim light that filtered through the broken windows, casting eerie shadows on the peeling wallpaper. The team split up, their footsteps echoing through the desolate corridors. Dr. Hargrove ventured into the basement, his heart pounding with anticipation. He held a lantern high, its flickering glow revealing the remnants of forgotten toys scattered across the cold concrete floor. The air grew colder, and a faint whisper reached his ears. "Help us, let us go." The plea echoed through the vast darkness, chilling him to the bone. His hands trembled as he searched for the source of the voice, but found nothing. Fear gnawed at him, urging him to flee, but his curiosity was too great. He would not be deterred. As the days passed, the investigators delved deeper into the orphanage's tragic history. They combed through yellowed documents, searching for answers to the spectral cries that haunted their every step. The children who had once dwelled here had been forgotten, their stories lost to time. One evening, as they huddled around a table cluttered with old photographs, Detective Sarah Lawson pointed to an image of a group of children. Their eyes stared out from the faded picture, hauntingly innocent and filled with pain. "These are the forgotten ones," she said, her voice barely a whisper. "The ones whose souls still linger in this place." The team worked tirelessly, piecing together the fragments of the past. They learned of the orphanage's grim history, how the children had suffered under the cruel hand of its caretakers. Neglected and abused, they perished one by one, their deaths swept under the rug of indifference. Night after night, the investigators experienced chilling encounters with the restless spirits. They witnessed shadowy figures darting through the corridors, heard the disembodied laughter of children playing hide-and-seek. The children's vengeance was relentless, their wrath fueled by the injustices they had endured. Determined to bring peace to the tormented souls, Dr. Hargrove devised a plan. He had uncovered a long-forgotten ritual, said to release trapped spirits and banish them from the earthly realm. It required the gathering of the children's personal belongings and an act of compassion, a gesture of forgiveness. The investigators set out to find the scattered remnants of the children's lives. They collected faded drawings, worn-out teddy bears, and cherished mementos. With each discovery, a fragment of the children's humanity was restored, their presence growing stronger. On the eve of their final attempt to release the spirits, Dr. Hargrove stood before the children's memorial, his voice trembling with emotion. "Forgive us," he implored, tears glistening in his eyes. "We failed you, but we promise to set you free." The investigators formed a circle, their hands clasped together, as Dr. Hargrove recited the ancient incantation. The air crackled with energy, and a soft glow enveloped the room. Whispers filled the space, carrying the pain and longing of the forgotten children. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifted. The temperature dropped, and a gust of wind swirled around the room, extinguishing the candles. In the darkness, the investigators felt a weight lifted from their shoulders, as if the burden of guilt and despair was being shared among them. A spectral figure materialized before them, a young girl, her eyes filled with both sadness and gratitude. She reached out her ethereal hand, and one by one, the investigators released the children's belongings they had collected. The items dissolved into shimmering mist, merging with the spirit of each child. As the last item vanished, the room filled with a blinding light. The investigators shielded their eyes, feeling a surge of energy pass through them. When they opened their eyes, the orphanage stood empty, devoid of the lingering spirits. Days turned into weeks, and the investigators returned to their normal lives, forever changed by their encounter with the forgotten children. They shared a bond forged in the crucible of supernatural terror, and their lives took on new meaning. Dr. Hargrove, now haunted by the children's stories, dedicated himself to advocacy for neglected and abused children. He became a voice for the voiceless, ensuring that no child would suffer the same fate as those in the orphanage. His tireless efforts brought hope to countless lives, a redemption for the sins of the past. Detective Sarah Lawson, forever marked by the experience, channeled her newfound empathy into her work. She became a relentless advocate for justice, particularly in cases involving the mistreatment of children. Her determination never wavered, driven by the memory of the lost souls she had encountered. The other investigators found their own ways to honor the forgotten children, donating their time and resources to charities focused on child welfare. They carried the lessons learned within the orphanage, spreading compassion and love wherever they went. And so, the tale of the forgotten children came to an end, but not without leaving a lasting impact. The abandoned orphanage stood as a testament to the horrors of neglect and the resilience of the human spirit. It served as a reminder that even in the darkest corners, redemption and hope can be found. Moral of the story: the forgotten children reminds us of the importance of compassion and empathy, especially towards those who are voiceless and forgotten. It teaches us that neglect and abuse have far-reaching consequences, and that redemption can be found in acknowledging past mistakes and working towards a better future. The story emphasizes the transformative power of empathy and the ability to bring light into the darkest of places, offering hope and healing to those who have suffered.